Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry I've been away yet again, not uploading, although I have quite a few items that I want to show you and talk about. I had a little holiday last week, which was most enjoyable, but I had absolutely no Wi-Fi in the place where I was staying and quite poor mobile reception as well, so there was no way I was going to get round to uploading as I had expected to anything that I managed to film. I had actually taken a few items with the idea that I would talk about them whilst I was away, whilst I was testing them. For example, the Bobby Brown Jones Road items that I've bought, but anyway, that's for another day. I'm tackling the backlog today by bringing out a couple of Guerlain items, new to me, and I think new generally. I haven't really seen much on beauty YouTube or anywhere about these. I think Guerlain kind of goes under the radar, although I have already seen a couple, well, quite a few videos about their fall eyeshadow palette collection. Some very positive reviews from YouTubers who I follow, who I generally tend to agree with their estimations of these things. There seem to be two beautiful eyeshadow palettes, which I haven't seen for purchase here yet in the UK, but are obviously coming up soon. But that's, as I say, is the fall collection. This was the Terracotta collection, which is kind of their traditional summer release, and I haven't really seen much at all. I think maybe these are just products that are not so sensational to have caused much of a stir, and I can understand that, but worth having a look at, I think. I do love Guerlain, I have to say. I think the products are really consistent, actually, across the board. You know, they're not bad at anything. They're pretty good at most things. I tend to like their foundations. Perhaps not quite as much as Chanel. Very similar too. I love their highlighters generally. They're very famous for bronzers, and they have a really good range of bronzers, particularly for women with fairer complexions who struggle with looking a bit orangey with most bronzers that are too dark or too kind of red toned. Not Guerlain. I personally don't really wear a lot of bronzers, so I'm less in the market for that. I haven't really had many of their blushes over the years, only in kind of mixed palettes. And I haven't actually had many of their eyeshadows other than in holiday mixed palettes, which I've really loved. And they also do beautiful lipsticks. But what I got from the Terracotta range, which is specifically their kind of summer, lightweight, glowy range, very popular, been around for years, releases every year. I got a new foundation. This is called the Healthy Glow Natural Perfection Foundation, 24-hour wear, no transfer, at 95% naturally derived ingredients, which of course means 5% aren't. I haven't worn it a huge amount, but I have worn it enough to say I struggle with 24 hours wear. It is a long wear foundation, so maybe that's just me. My skin's pretty dry now, so things generally wear in terms of keeping a trace better than they did when I was younger. With my combination skin, you know, the oily patches showed up a bit more, but product can break down a bit. And I would say that, you know, after 12 hours, even taking this product off, there's not a huge residue. I've put too much on my hand now. Let's go with a little bit. Now, part of the problem with this range was that, first of all, I bought on the internet based on my previous Guerlain purchases. And so I went for ON, which I think was probably just about the lightest neutral. And probably, I mean, it's pretty neutral. It's a bit yellowy for me, which, tends to be a bit kind of warmer than neutral. Maybe the rosier tinted one would have been better for me. Now, beware if you don't like fragranced makeup, because most of Guerlain is fragranced, distinctively fragranced. I think nicely fragranced, doesn't bother me. The Terracotta range in particular has a summer kind of fragrance. I really like it. It kind of evokes summer for me, but you can definitely smell it when it goes on the skin, and it takes a while before you can't smell it. Now, I think you can see there, I would call this a kind of light to medium coverage. It's slightly buildable. My criticism would be it's perhaps not as glowy as I had expected it to be. Now, I've put too much on there. I've got the Les Beige Chanel Healthy Glow foundation by way of comparison. Let me not overdo that. There we go. Weeny splodge. So we can see the two. I don't know whether this is going to show up on the hands. Possibly not. No, I think it does that. You can definitely see there's more glow on the Chanel Les Beige. They're a similar price point. They're both fragranced. I like both their fragrances. I think the Chanel wears pretty well. So that would be my one criticism of the Terracotta. I think it perhaps does wear a bit longer than Les Beige, but, I'm not going for a 24-hour wear. So, maybe for a night out, you would think this one would wear a bit better. But other than that, if you're in the market for a lightweight, reasonable last, light to medium coverage, glowy, then I would go with the Les Beige rather than the Terracotta Latant. But it's marginal, and it's a nice foundation. It feels kind of slightly drier on the skin. So, yeah, I mean, I'll wear it. It's a nice foundation, but I probably wouldn't buy it again. The Terracotta Illuminizer, again, I like Guerlain's highlighters. I would describe this as fairly subtle, whitish gold. Maybe it's very fine powder, which is really nice. Maybe nowadays I prefer a slightly more megawatt sheen. You know that my favourites are generally the Dior ones. I don't think I've got the right colour. I've got a slightly more pinky, that's kind of whitey gold. So there's the Dior, what are they called? Nude Luminizer, Dior Skin. Similar price points again. I'd just about go with the Dior one, but they're not quite the same colour. I pulled out a very old Guerlain that is still usable. It's coming away, as you can see. There you go. Now you can really see that from outer space. I'm going to leave this out to wear tomorrow, I think. Again, it's a more pinky rose gold than this one. So it's a bit of an unfair comparison, I guess. But that Guerlain one must be... This is Guerlain Poudre de Soie. I'm guessing this is about 10 years old, to be honest. I'm definitely going to wear that tomorrow. So, yeah, I will use this. A bit disappointed with the compact. I mean, it's subtle and tasteful. Cool Ivory is what I got. There are different, I don't think they're a huge number. Maybe only be 2 shades of this. I should have looked that up before I came back on. So, there we are. It's a bit of a kind of review, isn't it, of the Guerlain Terracotta releases. they're not particularly showy. I think you can do as well in other quality lines, but they're very serviceable. And, you know, if you like Guerlain and we're in the market for those products, then why not? I do think the foundation actually is a bit blurring as well, just looking at it on the back of my hand where I've got a lot of age marks. So maybe I've underestimated it a bit there. I'm going to have a clean up. Sorry about my nails. I kept this on because last night when I got back from holiday, when this had done 10 days, they were still looking unchipped. And in fact, it was just coming away from the cuticle line because I've worn it for so long, and I thought, well, that will be a good illustration of how fantastic the new Chanel formula it is, until I remembered that in fact the colour is Cruise that I'm wearing, and that's not the new formula at all. It's their last formula, and it's all gone a bit pear-shaped today when I've been doing a lot of washing and housework and so forth. You can see the one Chanel sticker that I permitted myself from that kit that I'd been wearing on holiday. But rest assured, the extremely mangy manicure is coming off this evening and being redone before I go to work tomorrow. So I hope you're all having a fabulous weekend. I look forward to speaking to you again soon. And if you've got to the end of this marathon, a thumbs up is always very welcome, as is a comment. And I shall speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.